Welcome to the Biz Easy podcast, where small business is simplified for greater results. Brought to you by Resources and Development. Go to www.resources-development.com for help in taking your business to the next level. And now, help me welcome the host of the Biz Easy podcast, Steve McCrillis.
Welcome to the Biz Easy podcast, coming to you from America's small business capital, recorded right here in Middle Tennessee, while reaching across the airwaves all over the globe. Was that emphatic enough? The Biz Easy, your resource to help take your business to the next level. Also, stay tuned to learn how you can get your free Biz Easy business tool gift at the end of this podcast. My name is Steve, your host, as we all learn how to stay better focused on the things that make you great. And I'd like to introduce you to my partner and our resident guru of coaching, our lead business coach, Skip Williams.
Hey, thanks, Steve. How you doing today?
Excellent.
Good. Hey, you do a lot of carpentry work. Have you noticed that the space between the ladder rungs on the ladder is getting larger? It's increasing? Perhaps because Americans are getting taller?
I've not noticed that, no.
Yeah, I'm told they're calling it climate change.
Best explanation I've ever heard of climate change. I'm going to go with that one.
All right.
Oh, gosh. So what's on our agenda today, Skip?
Well, today I want to talk about false indignation. Maybe it's just me, but it seems like people are more combative than ever these days. Perhaps I'm wrong. I don't have any evidence, but have you ever noticed that when you try to take corrective action with someone, they attack you in order to misdirect the conversation and escape the responsibility?
Mm-hmm.
I recently asked some people to tone it down when they were being loud outside my bedroom window where we were trying to sleep. They promptly told me loudly and disrespectfully about everything that I do wrong, why I'm a terrible person, I guess.
Huh.
Another time I caught some employees stealing. So I chewed them out and turned them in. The next day, I was in HR being told that the language I used when I caught the thieves red-handed was inappropriate. Obviously, the thieves weren't happy with the language I used.
Skip, I don't think it's just you. I think that events of the world prompted by social media have made people extra sensitive about themselves, while at the same time they have decided to have no concern about the sensitivities of others. I think that's what you're talking about. I think this is in part what you are talking with the article is about. Am I right?
I think that's true. But I want to kind of draw it into business applications here. And I admit it, I am not a perfect person, and perhaps I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But I always say, can't we address the issue I brought up before we talk about my shortcomings? But that wasn't their point, was it? They may or may not have had a problem with me, but here and now, they are just looking for anything to change the conversation. Much like a politician saying, "You think I'm bad? Well, look at the other guy. Look at the other guy." In all these cases, we have to learn to redirect the conversation back to the original behavior. Most often, the business owner is confronted with this boomerang with employee issues, but it can happen in a meeting with customers, vendors, or just life in general. And employees now have, or at least they think they have, a new superpower to control you and your company. Sometimes it's called the racism card or discrimination or whatever, but it can take many forms and be called many things. I like to call it false indignation, but it's about casting more dispersions on you that tries to make you look worse than their offense or offenses.
Yeah, I'd say it's sort of a retaliation for our own sensitivities, lashing out as others, so as to divert the focus off of us and place it upon someone else. Isn't it that I'm a victim versus I am taking responsibility for my actions mentality?
Yeah, and I can understand why human nature might be to push back or fight back first before you take responsibility for something. But, the idea here is to make sure that they get the message that they have to take responsibility for this. You and I know that we as employers are not perfect. Neither is the employee. And that the fact that you own the company or you're the boss should be enough to legally say that they have to go and that you get to stay. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world anymore, Steve. An employee has lots of recourse and the ability to make your life miserable and even harm your reputation for that matter. And for that matter, your customers have that power as well. So therefore, it's imperative that we do not let these issues escalate to the point of blowback. We must de-escalate not only the employee's emotions, but our own as well, and then redirect the conversation back to the original sin. So how do we accomplish that? First, we never deal with employees collectively. This sets up dangerous precedents and has great potential to get out of control very quickly.
Dealing with employees collectively, doesn't that mean clarifying employee policies as well as job descriptions for all the people that you have on staff? So this sort of thing may be less likely arise?
Well, what I mean by collectively is you don't want to entertain a group of angry employees in your office. You want to deal with them one at a time. You don't want to set up a precedent where they can start having a representative, which starts setting up openings for unions and or employee representation every time you have to talk to an employee.
True.
So second, do not let the conversation veer from the topic at hand. What I like to say, and I say it sincerely, is something like this. I'm sorry you feel that way, and after we have come to some resolution on topic number one, then I'd be happy to address my shortcomings or your issue with you. This should temporarily, at least, diffuse the situation and allow you to address the employee's behavior. Third, and I know this is hard, try to be empathetic. I know it goes against every bone in your body because they are the perpetrator. But instead, use words like, is there something going on that I need to know? Are you having a problem with something? How can I help you fix this issue? Etc. Fourth, talk about responsibility and how the company counts on you or them to do this thing correctly. Get them to take responsibility. And if you can't do it for the past and present behavior, at least get them to sign up for the responsibility for future behavior. Fifth, provide positive reinforcement by reminding them of all the things they do very well. This is part of what I call the sandwich method. We talk about good behavior, we address the bad behavior, and then we go back to good behavior. Create this positive note before ending the meeting so that an employee returns to work knowing that they may need to improve something, but they are not a complete failure, they are valued, and that, for that matter, that you're not a complete jerk either. The point of these steps is to avoid that hostile confrontation, as no one will benefit from that, and it will usually create further hostilities down the road. It's okay to be tough, but be fair and be honest, and remember that you're not trying to win this battle, and that's very important. You're not trying to win this battle or show them who's boss. You are trying to fix a problem.
And therein lies the problem. I think people generally enter into a confrontational situation with the primary goal of winning the argument. I interpret that you're saying to manage the situation, to stay on the problem at hand while avoiding a deeper emotional calamity, which inevitably will come the more the finger is pointed. Would you agree?
That's right. And in fact, you've often heard the advice, you don't want to talk to the employee while you're still angry. You want to calm down, take a walk around the building, or wait till the next day or something like that. But you got to cool your emotions so that you can thereby take and control their emotions as well.
Well, I think a real key here is making sure that they understand it's not about you, the person. It's about the behavior.
That's correct. Yeah, focus it on the behavior and why that behavior is unacceptable. And if that day comes that you have to let them go, it should be no surprise to them. In their mind, they know that you gave them a chance and they failed to live up to your expectations, and that this is probably not the place for them. You let them leave with goodwill in your heart, wishing them the best and sorry that it didn't work out for them or for you. And not every person there's a job for every person, but it isn't necessarily the job you gave them. Sometimes they just don't fit. That doesn't make them a bad person, doesn't make you a bad person. When we hire other people, it's tempting to think that we are in charge and it's my way or the highway. Sometimes it's easy to bully people without even realizing it. You may have an indignation that's righteous. You have every reason to feel indignant, but that's only slightly better than false indignation. If we reverse the equation by taking the servant's attitude, knowing that it is our job to serve the employees as much as our customers, then we bear more fruit from our labor and maybe save ourselves a lawsuit or two in the process.
I'd like to underscore a couple of things. First of all, never reprimanding an employee in front of another employee, never
Right.
doing so in front of a client, customer, or vendor. Always make it in private. Now, I have been in way too many circumstances where I'm talking with the business owner and I'm expressing to him some of the concerns that his employees have and some of the concerns that employees have with other employees. Well, no sooner do I go and explain this all to the owner of the business, and he jumps out of his chair, goes out to the shop, calls everybody together, and starts castigating the entire group. You for this, you for this, you for this.
Oh my God.
The most humiliating thing I think I've ever witnessed. And when he got back, I sat the guy down, much like an employee, and said, now, if we want to address this situation and try to improve upon it, was that the best way that you could do that? So we had a long conversation about it, and he realized that was part of the problem. He had created a culture of people trying to protect themselves, and it's exactly what you're talking about: false indignation. They want to take the focus off of themselves and put it on somebody. Well, maybe I did this, but he did this, and she did that. It becomes a high school thing, and it's just debilitating.
Yeah, he was portraying all the behaviors that we said the employee was doing wrong, right? And taking things personally, and yeah, that's just not the way to de-escalate a situation at all.
As we always prompt our listeners to send in a thought. If you want to blog on something, if you want to podcast on something, bring it. It's sad for me to see the number of people that I have spoken to that really would like to know what is the most effective way to deal with this complete different cultural change, if you will. Maybe it's not cultural, it's generational changes, employees' attitudes. I'm not going to generalize on any of that at this time, but there seems to be a struggle out there. So dealing with that sort of a problem is going to be a real challenge. There's no doubt for upcoming management.
I still believe you need to be tough, and you need to hold people to the responsibilities they've signed up for. Make sure everybody toes the line, but you've got to do it as a gentleman, as a lady, whatever. You have to be polite. You have to be respectful of the person that's sitting in front of you.
Well,
otherwise, you're not going to get anywhere. Go ahead.
If you want to work here, I mean, there are certain things that we have to do as a collective body. If you don't want to work here, it's okay, but that you got to still follow these kinds of things. It's kind of a requisite for having the ability or willingness or privilege to work here, if you will.
Right. Yeah. And like I say, you got to find the right seat for the right butt.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, that should be a podcast. Oh, wait. Okay. Great topic, Skip. Appreciate you writing a blog on that. And now the new addition to our podcast, it's story time. Gather round, grab a blanket and an adult beverage and listen to this. Now, keep in mind that the story I'm about to tell you is a real company still in existence today, having started, like many of you, from humble beginnings. And thanks to our podcast, they've simplified things for greater results. I like to throw caution to the wind, Skip. What can I say? So let's talk about Dave. Dave started his business in 1989 after he was frustrated by the poor quality and fit of the floor mats in his new vehicle. He decided to start his own company that would produce high quality, custom fit floor mats that would protect the interior of any car. Now, he began by importing floor mats from England, but soon realized that he could make them better and cheaper in the U.S. He invented his own manufacturing facility in Bolingbrook, Illinois, and hired skilled workers and engineers to design and produce his own floor mats. And if I may divert just for a second, that's an incredible change, incredible improvement that he made right there. Recognized the quality was not up to his standard and changed it. Went so far as to come up with the manufacturing process himself and brought in the people and the engineering to do what he needed to do. That's a great tale for anybody.
I think that's an incredible piece of the story as well, because back in the outsourcing days, I used to say this all the time: you lose function when you outsource things to other countries. I mean, you lose cash flow because you have to buy things by the container. You lose the ability to respond to your customer demands. You lose the ability to do research and development. There's so many things that you lose that don't that aren't worth that $2 that you saved having it manufactured.
Well, changes in the quality and the engineering. He was able to do that turn on a dime because he brought the manufacturing. Well, let me continue with Dave's story.
Go ahead.
Dave also expanded his product line to include other accessories such as cargo liners, mud flaps, license plate frames, and pet barriers. He focused on using advanced technology and materials such as laser scanning, injection molding, and thermoplastic rubber to create durable and precision products that would fit any vehicle. He also adopted, which is another change, another pivot point for him as a business owner. He adopted a direct-to-consumer business model, bypassing the middlemen and dealers and selling his product through his own website, catalogs, and TV commercials. So he had to expand his own marketing continuum, again, bringing all that stuff in-house. Now, I don't recommend that for everybody, but I think in his situation, it was a great move to make. He emphasized his commitment to American-made quality and customer satisfaction and offered a lifetime warranty on his products. I mean, when you're talking about direct-to-consumer, you're on the front line right there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Today, Dave's company is a leader in the automotive accessory industry with over 1,000 employees on a 160-acre campus in Illinois. It has also diversified into other markets such as home and pet products and has sponsored various sports and charitable events. It has been recognized as one of the most successful and innovative companies in America and has won numerous awards and accolades. Can you figure out who it is? Do we know who this is? And I applaud him for all the things that he did to advance and improve his own business. Well, his name is Dave McNeil, and WeatherTech is the name of the company. And it's an example how one man's vision and passion can turn into a thriving and respected business with a loyal and satisfied customer base. It is a story of how hard work, innovation, and quality can overcome any challenge and create a legacy.
Man, oh man, I think there's a bunch of lessons in there today, Steve, don't you? I mean, as you pointed out, being able to bring it home and make it in the U.S. Had so many advantages to the growth, and I think and the quality part too, right? People will pay for value. They don't always want the cheapest thing, especially if it's something they care about, and usually their car is something they care about. The whole direct consumer thing, which is really caught on in the last decade, maybe decade and a half, where companies are really cutting out the middleman. They're not selling to wholesalers. They're not selling to stores, department stores, or whatever. They're selling directly to consumer. And I think that's an option for people who are good at the marketing side of their business, that they might consider. So, hats off to WeatherTech for bringing a company back to the U.S. and creating a quality product that people desire, and creating a market for it too.
Yeah, all true. And I don't think that a inside distribution model works for everybody. Sometimes the outside distribution model does work. So it's not a recommendation for every company. But what he did is he looked at how he was producing, what he was getting, the quality he was getting, and he made some very important decisions. And I think, as you pointed out, what we've said many times, price is the issue in the absence of value. He wanted more value in it. So I don't know that price was the issue. I myself have bought WeatherTech products, and I have to tell you, they are quality. Are you going to pay a little more for it? Oh, sure. But you're going to pay twice for something that you pay too little for, right?
That's right. That's right. I mean, sometimes all you need is a cheap screwdriver, but if you make your living with a screwdriver, you better not get the cheap one, right? So there's a market for price, and there's a market for quality. Absolutely.
Great story. Well, now we're going to give some time back to Skip to talk about this week's free gift. And the gift is the Marketing Evaluator, found on our website, resources-development.com, on the products page. Skip, take it away. This week's free gift is our Marketing Evaluator. Now, do you ever write an ad and wonder if it is going to have the impact you intend for it to have on your potential customers? Well, this tool is designed to help you review your current marketing impact and efficacy for deciding upon improvement or reassignment. We all know how important planning is, especially when it comes to planning for profit. To ensure that you are planning to put your best foot forward in marketing your business, this tool is a great resource for you and your marketing effort. Let's let Skip show us around.
This week's tool, Steve, is pretty simple. It's really just scoring yourself in several different areas, but I think it'll really help people determine how powerful and what type of an impact their ads will have. So each category, you would pick which number best describes your ad, put it in here. So we're taking some of the subjectivity, but not all the subjectivity out of writing these ads. Put your points in each of these sections, each section, and at the end, it'll give you your average points, and it will tell you whether you should probably start all over from scratch, or whether you have something that's clear, passionate, precise, and powerful. Pretty simple tool to use, but I think it'll be really effective for folks when they're writing an ad or evaluating an ad that was written for them. Thanks, Steve.
As Skip mentioned, once again, the inputs are minimal, but the outputs are very powerful. Now, this tool can be very valuable in helping you look more objectively at your marketing products and evaluate just how effective it will be to your constituency. Now, we hope this makes your business a little more predictable and profitable. And the way to get your copy of the Marketing Evaluator tool free today is to go to the products page at resources-development.com and use the coupon code ADCHECK. That's ADCHECK to get yours absolutely free. And this product is a $9.95 value that you will receive for listening to us today. Our gift to help make your life biz easier.
Write that ad and stand back and watch the sales roll in. Right, Steve?
There you go. Thanks, Skip. Excellent. Well, there you go. Enjoy the gift. I hope you have success with it. And as always, if you need to contact us to find out how I can use it more effectively, if you need a little tutorial, always happy to give it. Reach out to us on our website or give us a call. And there you go. Let's wrap it up.
I think that is a wrap, Steve.
Thanks for listening to today's bizeasier podcast. If you enjoyed our broadcast, we would kindly ask you to like, subscribe, and share with other entrepreneurs. See you next time on the bizeasier podcast, where business is simplified for greater results.